name's Steve Armstrong. I was in the Navy from 1974 to 1994.
Good afternoon. My name is Bo Montgomery. I'm currently a police officer with the Moses Lake Police Department. I'm also a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army Reserve.
My name is Robin Rasmussen, and I'm a para here at the high school. I work with Steve Gabriel in a resource room. Okay.
At the time, unemployment. Unemployment, I lived on the west side of the state. Unemployment was about 10% at the time. The other good thing was my dad was a career Navy, so I already knew what it was.
Yeah.
And it was still at the end of Vietnam, and I knew if I joined the Navy, I wasn't going to Vietnam.
Because I had a strong sense to serve my country and also to serve fellow soldiers.
I joined the Air Force because I wanted to go to school, and my parents couldn't pay for it, and I didn't want to have to work while I was going to school. Okay.
I was stationed in Scotland for 5 years. I was stationed in Spain for 4 years. I was stationed in Virginia 2 different times. The first time was 4 years. The second time was, well, actually 3 times. The second time was 2.5 years. That was on a ship, the one and only ship I was actually permanently assigned to. And then my last tour was at a shore station, and that was 1.5 years before I retired.
I've been all over the world. Been to Korea, Thailand, and most recently spent a year in Afghanistan.
I went to Texas, San Antonio, Texas. I did both my boot camp there, and I also stayed there. I worked at Wilford Hall Medical Center, the largest hospital in the Air Force. Okay.
14 years I was in the communications intercept and exploitation and analysis of that information. And then 6 years I was in electronic warfare, which was radar intercept and analysis.
I was an infantry officer and also a logistics officer. An infantry officer is responsible for being on the ground, conducting missions, patrolling.
I was assigned to supply, and when I was in, the computers filled a room, and I typed the key punch cards that went to the computer to order the supplies.
After I retired, because of the jobs I had then, there's really no civilian counterparts. And I knew for years that I wanted to work in restaurants. So I went to college, I went to culinary school, got a degree in culinary arts, and I worked from restaurants from Miami up into New York and into Canada. When I moved here, I heard about the culinary program, and I sent Mrs. Armstrong a letter saying that I was interested. And she called me up and said, yeah, we could use you as a substitute for Mr. Frost and Mrs. Mosberg. And then shortly after that, I got another call. She says, well, I see you worked with special ed kids when you were a chef, because I used to hire them in my restaurants. And I said, yeah. She says, do you have any problems working with them at the high school? No. She says, well, it's not a teaching job, but would you like to work in with Mrs. Spence with the JAG program in special ed? Sure. So
when I got out, before I went in, I moved to school. When I got out, I got into law enforcement, and then from there I continued going to school after that.
After I left the Air Force, I came back and went to college and got my degree.
Hi, my name is Michaela Rhodes, and my brother-in-law, Steve Godwin, was in the National Guard when he went in when he was 17, and he's been to 3 trips to Iraq and Afghanistan, and he's going back 1 more year, and he's only 27. And it affected me because it showed me how strong he was and who to look up to.
I'm Emma Welch, and my grandpa, Dean Bousman, was in the Marines in Vietnam, 66 to 68. He did 3 tours, and because of that, he has influenced our family to become a family of Marines.
Hi, my name is Cora Brownlee. My stepdad, Kevin Walker, was in the military from when he was 16, I believe. So he was in Iraq for a very long time. He has two daughters plus me, so it really affected me because once I learned about how he was far away from home and he never really got the chance to see any of his family for a really long time, it started to make me cry because I know that a lot of people in this world know that having people in the military is really hard. So.
Hi, my name is Katie Lang. My father was in the military from 1990 to 2005. He was in Kuwait, and him being in the military was really hard because we didn't get to see him for almost a year, and it was just really tough not knowing what was actually going to happen.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died.